never stop reading Bible. Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are jumping right into a really powerful section of Scripture, the core message of 2 Corinthians chapters 4 through 6. It's all about a paradox, how our struggles and our purpose are deeply connected. This whole passage really tackles a question that I think we all wrestle with at some point. How can something as painful as hardship actually lead to hope? It seems impossible, right? Well, we're about to unpack a pretty radical answer to that, chapter by chapter.
So we start in chapter 4. Our guide here is the Apostle Paul, and he kicks things off with this huge paradox. He says his ministry is glorious, absolutely filled with divine purpose, but at the same time, it's packed with just immense, non-stop difficulty.
And look at this incredible contrast he sets up. On the outside, it's all pressure, suffering, persecution, just the reality of human weakness. But on the inside, something totally different is happening. God's comfort isn't just present, it's overflowing. He's facing hardship, but he's not discouraged. And it's in that human frailty that God's power is actually revealed. This completely flips the script on how we usually think about suffering. The point here is that it's not a sign of failure. It doesn't have to lead to despair. Instead, it's like a cracked clay jar. The cracks are what let the light shine through. The glory of the ministry isn't in spite of the hardship. In a very real way, it's because of it.
So if hardship is actually part of the message, what does that mean for the mission itself? Well, that's exactly where chapter 5 takes us. It pulls the camera back, shifting our perspective from the immediate struggle to the ultimate, eternal purpose behind everything.
And here's the key shift. We're urged to look past the things we can see, which are all temporary anyway, and focus on what's unseen and eternal. Now, this isn't just some feel-good idea. It's the actual fuel that keeps the mission going.
And this eternal viewpoint really brings the primary mission into sharp focus. And that mission can be summed up in one powerful word: reconciliation. We're talking about the deep, fundamental work of restoring harmony, first between God and people, and then between people themselves.
So you see how it works. The motivation? It's the love of God. The goal? To urge people to get right with God. The role? It's like being an ambassador for Christ. And the action? Well, it's all about building that harmony right inside the community. It's an active, urgent mission.
Okay, so we've got this big, eternal mission of reconciliation. With that foundation set, chapter 6 brings all these high-level ideas right down to street level, with a very practical call to action for the community in Corinth. And notice how he starts. He brings it back to his own suffering, but he's not complaining. His ability to endure all that hardship, that's his resume. It's the proof he offers that his message is true and his authority is from God.
So having established his credentials, he gives them this powerful two-part instruction. And at first glance, it might seem a little contradictory. On one hand, he says, reconcile within your community. Open your hearts to each other. But on the other hand, he says, separate without. Don't be bound to values that clash with your faith.
So you have to wonder, how does that work? How can you be told to be more open and to separate at the same time? Well, the idea here is that these two commands are actually two sides of the same coin.
What he's really getting at is that you can only have true harmony inside the community when everyone are united in a shared spiritual purpose. You can't really mend relationships internally if the group is being pulled apart by external values that cause division.
He ends his appeal with the heartfelt tone of a parent, just pleading with them to choose this path. And this whole journey, from personal suffering to an eternal mission to communal integrity, it all brings us back to that huge question we started with. So where does true strength come from? Well, this passage gives us a really profound answer. Strength doesn't come from avoiding hardship. It comes from finding a divine purpose right in the middle of it. It's about believing that what we see is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal. That's what transforms suffering from a crushing weight into a vessel for glory. This explainer was brought to you by the Center Studio.